Welcome back to the deep dive, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at, well, it's a story actually.
A story, yeah.
Yeah, it's a narrative piece called Ever,
Mhm.
which, if you don't know, translates to meeting,
Just meeting, yeah.
meeting. And at first glance, it seems like kind of a simple, straightforward look at like a workplace meeting.
Hmm.
What happens? But the more we looked at this, the more we thought there's actually like a lot of really interesting stuff going on here about how, people and organizations operate and these kind of unspoken dynamics that happen in workplaces.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly right. And what's especially interesting to me is that, it takes place in this very specific context, right? A Chinese Communist Party school. But the behaviors and motivations, the things that people are doing and why they're doing them, it feels very relatable. Like it feels, pretty universal. I mean, think about mandatory meetings. I'm sure, pretty much everyone listening has had to sit through one of those at some point. So, in this deep dive, we really want to go beyond just like the events of the meeting, what happened, and really dig into some of the bigger ideas about like organizational culture and how people adapt to the structures that they're in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been in meetings where I'm doing something else.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
sure, everybody has.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's set the scene for this story. We're in kind of a modest office at a party school in China, and we're introduced to these six staff members. It's a small group, kind of self-contained, and it's Monday afternoon. And just like clockwork, they have their weekly meeting.
Mm.
This isn't like an optional thing either. Like there are actual consequences if you don't show up or if you leave early. There are fines involved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
It's
interesting.
50 yuan if you're late, 80 yuan for leaving early.
Steep.
And we're told that this specific half day has the strictest attendance policy.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, right away you're getting the sense of like, this is serious business, at least from the perspective of the people who are running it, right?
Absolutely.
Like this meeting, you need to be there.
It matters. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the head of this group, Director Luo, he's like, pleased. He's satisfied that everybody's there on time. And right away, he's focused on political learning and organizational discipline.
Oh,
He's emphasizing how important those things are.
makes sense. Yeah.
And and then he takes out this stack of what are called red-headed documents,
Okay.
which, if you're not familiar, those are official pronouncements, basically, from the party. So it's
Right.
serious stuff.
So they carry a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really emphasizes like the formal nature of this meeting,
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
But this is where things start to kind of diverge from what you might expect.
Yeah.
Because the reality of what actually happens in this meeting is very different from what Director Luo probably has in mind.
Okay, interesting.
So we get introduced to this kind of cast of characters, and they all have, let's say, interesting ways of spending their time in these meetings. So first up, we have Kia Shuhan, and he's immediately introduced to us as the meeting sleepy bug,
Meeting sleepy bug. Okay.
which apparently is not just a one-time thing.
Mm.
This is his pattern. Big meeting, small meeting, doesn't matter. As soon as Director Luo starts reading, boom, he's asleep.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess you could see that as like the most passive form of like disengagement, right? Like not even actively resisting, just like completely checking out.
Tuning out, yeah.
But I mean, it is also, I mean, look, it's kind of funny, right? And the fact that the story presents it so matter-of-factly makes me think that, this is normal. Like everyone is, maybe not okay with it, but they're certainly used to it.
Yeah, it's like part of the routine almost.
Yeah, totally.
And so then we have Zhao Li, and he's an aspiring cartoonist.
Hmm.
And for him, these meetings are like prime time for getting ideas.
Oh, wow.
He describes it as his most productive time for coming up with new cartoons. And this
Mm.
isn't just like, doodling on a notepad. These are actually good cartoons. He's posting them online. He's getting published in newspapers.
Wow, impressive.
So, he really takes advantage of this time. His goal is to finish at least 3 cartoons during every meeting.
So he's like, he's found his niche, right? Like this forced stillness. Maybe it's the boredom, I don't know, but somehow it's unlocking his creativity.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of writer's block, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay, so then we have Lu Qi, and she spends the meetings knitting sweaters. Secretly
Secretly knitting sweaters.
knitting sweaters. And apparently she's really good at it. Like we're told she has, flying needles, that her hand is truly skillful.
Okay.
And she comes prepared. She brings a big bag of yarn to every Monday meeting.
Wow. So it's like it's her designated crafting hour
Exactly.
under
Yeah.
the guise of, a work obligation. I love that.
It's very clever.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up we've got Kuei Hao. Now, he uses the meeting time to read Jin Young novels,
Okay.
specifically The Legend of the Condor Heroes, which, if you're into wuxia fiction, it's a classic.
Oh, great book.
Yeah, it's a great book. But apparently, he's not allowed to read these books at home.
Okay.
His wife won't let him. So this mandatory meeting has become his literary escape.
Yeah.
And he's actually at like a really exciting part of the story right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now the meeting's important because he has to find out what happens next.
Yes, exactly. He needs that time. And then finally we have Dosh, Zuji, and she uses the meeting for doing her makeup.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's become like this weekly ritual. She's got her mirror out. She's constantly touching up. And her boyfriend has even noticed, like he's commented on how good she looks on Mondays, not realizing that it's because of, the dedicated meeting makeup time.
That's great. That's so funny.
Yeah, and she's got like a whole 4-step process that
Yeah.
she does, which usually it fits perfectly into the meeting schedule, although not today, as we'll see.
Uh-oh. Oh.
So we've got these 5, subordinates,
Yeah.
all doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And what's really wild is that the narrator tells us, Director Luo knows. He's completely aware of what everyone is doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And for the most part, he doesn't seem to care.
Interesting.
The phrase that's used is, long ago accustomed to it, not much to be surprised at.
So that raises a question for me. Like, what is the actual purpose of this meeting? Is it really about this political learning and organizational discipline, or has it become something else entirely?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, have they all just kind of collectively decided that this time is for their own personal stuff?
Yeah, and that's fine as long as everyone shows up and, the appearance of the meeting is maintained.
Right, exactly. And that question about the purpose of the meeting, it really comes to a head when we see why Director Luo tries to end the meeting early.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is his own personal agenda.
Okay.
So it turns out that he recently got divorced.
Oh, wow.
And he has a date at 3:30 with this woman named Mrs. Wu. So he checks his watch, and it's 3:0.
Yeah.
And, you can imagine panic starts to set in.
Yeah, totally. He's got places to be.
Right. So he tries to end the meeting, not just once, but twice. And he's met with silence. The only sound is Yu Han snoring away.
Oh, that's great.
It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
So finally, he has to, like, bang on the table.
To get everyone's attention.
Yeah, just to get anyone to react.
Right.
And the reaction he gets is not what he was expecting.
Oh, I bet.
So Zhu Han, he wakes up, and he's not happy about it.
No.
Not happy at all. Instead of being, relieved that the meeting might be ending early, he's actually annoyed.
Wow.
Yeah, and he says something like, "What's all the noise? Let's have a proper meeting." And then he just goes right back to sleep.
Oh, that's amazing. I love the irony of that. Like he's the one who sleeps through every meeting, but he's also the one who insists on having a proper meeting.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't stop there. Like the resistance to ending the meeting early, it's not just Xu Han. So Xiao Li, the cartoonist, he actually speaks up, and he's not happy either.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, we can't cut our weekly study session short. He hasn't finished his drawing, and he really genuinely values this time for his creative process.
Right. It's like the meeting has become part of his workflow. Like he needs that time and space to get his work done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Kui Hall, the guy reading the novel, he also chimes in. And he's basically like, yeah, let the meeting continue. He wants to keep reading his book in peace, away from his wife.
It's like they've all carved out these little, spaces for themselves within this meeting, and they've come to rely on it. Like, the meeting might be pointless in terms of its official purpose, but it's serving all these other functions.
Yeah, it's become like this weird little ecosystem.
Exactly, yeah.
And even Zuji, who's doing her makeup, she's upset too, because her 4-step routine isn't finished. And she even connects it back to her boyfriend's compliments about her appearance on Mondays. It's like, this meeting is key to her weekly glow up,
Right. And her comment about their political consciousness not being raised if the meeting ends early, that's great. It's like she's pointing out the performative aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah, totally. And then Luji, the knitter, she's unhappy too.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't made enough progress on her sweater. So basically, Director Luo is trying to, prioritize his personal life, but he's met with this this wall of resistance from everyone else.
It's like the inmates are running the asylum a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And then Zhu Han, he actually tells Director Luo that he has to pay everyone's fines if he ends the meeting early.
Right.
Like 6 people's fines, you pay for them all.
Oh, wow. So he's calling his bluff, basically.
Yeah. And at that point, Director Luo, he just gives in. He's like, okay,
Okay.
fine, let's continue the meeting.
I love that. It's like such a great example of how even in a hierarchical structure, like sometimes the real power lies somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. So the meeting continues, and everyone goes back to what they were doing. Director Luo starts reading the documents again, but the narrator points out that he's reading much faster now, clearly still thinking about his date.
Yeah. Can't blame him.
Yeah. Zhu Han falls right back asleep.
Yeah.
Xiaoli gets back to his cartoons. Kui Hao is immersed in his novel. Zhu Ji finishes her makeup, and Lu Ji's knitting needles are just, a blur.
It's like back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Exactly. But then we get this little glimpse into Director Luo's thoughts, and he's basically freaking out.
About the date.
Yeah, he's like worried about Miss Wu waiting for him. He doesn't have her phone number. He's complaining about how long the document is. It's very funny.
It's like he created this problem for himself, you know? Like if he had just let the meeting run its course, he wouldn't be in this situation.
Exactly. So that's the end of the story. But I think there's a lot to unpack here. What are some of the big takeaways for you?
Well, I think it's a really great illustration of, human adaptability. These individuals, they're not necessarily like rejecting the system,
Mm-hmm.
but they found these ways to make it work for them, to fit their own needs and interests into it.
Yeah.
It makes me think about how sometimes constraints can actually foster creativity. Like with Xiaoli, the cartoonist, maybe he wouldn't be as productive if he wasn't forced to sit there in this boring meeting.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's also just kind of a funny commentary on work in general, like the absurdity of meetings. You know how they can often be completely pointless, but we still have them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this kind of bittersweet element to it too, I think. These
Yeah.
people they're all stuck in this situation, but they're finding ways to make the best of it, to find moments of joy or satisfaction or whatever, even if it's just, getting to read a chapter of their favorite book.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's funny, but it's also kind of poignant. Like, what does it say about us that we can adapt to pretty much anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great point. Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you next time.